And we are live. Welcome everybody to the 25 Marketing Mastermind. And before we go any further, we just want to make sure that we are live so everybody can hear. So if I can get a thumbs up from somebody in the panel, I could test on my side, but try. Let me see. Yes, we are. It's working fine. Cool. No gremlins today. We are live and welcome. If you have come to this Hangout because somebody has referred you, we welcome you to this panel. And if you are there live, please stay high in the chat so we can see you and give you a shout out. We really do appreciate you there. So if you are there, just say hi, and I'm sure we're just going to give it a little bit of time so everybody can get on. But we have, I got to say, my connection has been running very well these last couple of days. Ever since Telkom sent their guys in to fix the line, things have been running a lot better. So I am really, really happy that my line is a lot more stable. They're still got to come back and tweak the line so that it'll even better connection. But other than that, I'm happy about that. So with that being said, we have our star panel on with us today. And they're all in the same house again, which is amazing. And we all took a picture together, including me. So maybe Katie can put that up on the chat so everybody can see. But with that being said, let's go over to Pops. How are you doing? I see you already getting that beard going on, and you guys are going to be heading back home. And I think tomorrow is it? I mean, just to get your license.
Yeah, we're going to start heading home in the morning, but hopefully we're going to find a spot to stop for a couple of nights on the way. Because I have until the 20th, Saturday the 20th. And if the license plate doesn't come in, I can get another permit, and then I'll have to come back again, which we need to do because we have to see the old parts on the block. Or I don't, but my daughters do. And then we can head out again. And I should have the plate by then. I don't know how long that takes. But we're doing fantastic. We spent the part of the day on the lake in our kayaks. It's the first time we launched them. It was a nice, beautiful, breezy day. Saw a huge eagle dipping in the water a couple of times. We couldn't tell if he was dipping in to get a drink of water or if he was actually catching a fish, but that was exciting. Yeah, it's been a fantastic several days here with Jamie and Bertie. It's been great.
That's just awesome, and it's great that we can connect with each other. And you can betcha that if I go overseas again, I'm going to definitely be popping into Jamie and Bertie to say hi and everything, and that'll just be an absolute amazing thing that I can do. But I see we have Joe Whistler on the chat here saying hi. Joe, how you doing? So good of you to join us. And now we're going to go over to Miss Katie Stage. Katie, how are you doing? How are things going? I believe you went to go to the lake. Could you explain that one, please?
I went to the what?
Lake. Yes.
Okay.
Right, that's it, next minute.
I have pictures on my Facebook, actually. 2 seconds. Hold on. Let me just show you. I have to share this. So there we are on the lake. You see that? Wait for it.
Oh.
Good times, huh? So yeah, we went and did the kayak thing. So it's upside down? Oh. All right.
No, it's not upside down. It's fine.
Oh. Oh, that's going to be funny. In the comments below, the picture of us is going to be upside down. Oh, it's too funny. No, fun in the sun. I put like 3 layers of suntan lotion on, but I still got a lot of sun.
Still got burned. Okay. Well, that's a good thing. I suppose it means that you got some sun, some vitamin D, all of that. But yeah, we got sun. You want to get sun? Come to Africa. That's got sun. All right. It's like 50 degrees in the shade, and there is no shade. And I'm talking Celsius. All right. So 50 degrees Celsius. Don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. Maybe someone can do the calculations. I'm sure Joe is at it right now. giving us the calculations for Celsius, Fahrenheit.
That's
But
really,
anyway,
really freaking hot.
yeah, that's hot. That is hot. Seriously, you can fry an egg on the pavement here when it gets hot. Right now, where it's winter, so I'm wearing kind of a, as we call here, a jersey. We call this a jersey, by the way. You guys call it a jumper. You know, don't know why you call it a jumper, but
that might be Londoners. We call them sweatshirts.
oh, okay, sweatshirts. All right, there we go. Yeah, an actual jersey. Yeah, that's anyway. So with that being said, let's go over to Mr. Jamie Shaw. Jamie, how are you doing? So you just come back from work, right? So you're all
yeah, I still got to go to that job, you know, and put in my time. So, but been a pretty interesting week. You know, we had a good weekend, good workshop Saturday night. Pops and Katie are amazing. You know, hanging out, like I said, Saturday on the workshop. You know, hanging out with your sponsor, your mentor is great. You know, and everybody should get a chance to try it. So, but you know, yeah, I got to pick Katie's mind a little bit and pick Pops' mind a little bit. They slapped me around a little bit, told me to get to work. So, you know, that's all good. So.
yeah, that's also true. I mean, I wonder if there are kind of secrets that can be spilled, you know, in person. I'm sure there are a few. That's why it's always a good idea to go to an event. And I know that Mighty System Pro's got an event coming up called Live the Dream. And if you can make it to that, you must absolutely go. I've been to events like that, and there is just nothing like networking with other people. It just gives you a whole lot of energy, a whole lot of new information, and people that you can connect with. It's just an amazing experiences. So when I can go, I absolutely do. And I just wanted to give a shout out to Minnie. I know Minnie's on the chat right now. Yes, Minnie. 50 degrees Celsius, like 100 degrees Fahrenheit, so it gets really hot over here. Probably doesn't get 50 all the way. It gets like 45 to 50 when it really gets hot here. But man, you go on the beach, you can't even step on the sand. You got to run to the other side. I remember as a kid when we used to live on the beach, I used to run a bit, get on the towel, run a bit, get on the towel, run a bit, get on the towel, and it was just so painful. And I do remember one time being incredibly stiff from running the previous day, and I was trying to walk on the sand, and I just could not handle it. It was so hot. I actually had to go over to somebody's towel and say, "Do you mind if I stand here a bit?" They look at me really weirdly, but yeah, it gets really hot over here. You can literally fry an egg on the pavement if you do that. But let's get into the whole deal here, what we're going to be talking about. This is part 2 of a series that we've titled How to Start a Business from Scratch. And if you were with us last week, we were talking about your why. Having your why to start a business is so important, because if you don't have a why, you really don't have a reason as to why you want to do stuff. And it's so important to have that. We spoke about that in great detail, and if you want to catch the recording of that, we certainly can give it to you, and I'm sure one of us can give that to you. This week, we're going to be talking about something which is going to give you endless amount of fuel for your business. And so many people, when they get started, or when they get started in an online business, they go about it in a very, very clunky way. Like they just think, well, I got to get a website, then I got to find products, put it on the website, and then I got to somehow tell people about my website, and I just got to keep on doing this so I can make money. And that is how most people approach starting a business online. But we want to give you a kind of new look into how to get this going. And this is why this week we are going to be talking about your passion. All right, you absolutely need to be passionate about what you want to do. And by passion, I don't just mean get excited. I don't just mean, having a lot of energy, because that subsides. What I mean is you need to find something that you are interested in, and you've got to put that online. Now, I want to talk to you about a little experience I had when I used to work in the corporate world. And I'll tell you this, I've done many things. I've been a street hawker when I walked on the streets trying to sell watches. I have been a belting technician, making belts for those standing in line. You know, when you're standing in line with groceries and those tables that have those belts that go across like this, and you know the groceries move. I used to make those belts. I used to skive those belts and put them together. I used to be a belting technician. I even worked for a company that used to manufacture explosives inside of South Africa. It was a very tedious job. I had to sit there with the tweezers and put these little components on circuit boards. You had to have a lot of dexterity. That's a lovely word, dexterity. And if you guys have been on the workshop, you know it's a lovely word. It's not like a bad word, like something else that we've said on the workshop, but you have to have a lot of dexterity to be able to put these components on these boards. And then, you know, you stick it on with epoxy and it gets soldered together, soldered, as you guys say, soldered together. And that's what I used to do. But I have always been a youth worker for most of my life. For most of my adult life, I have been involved with youth. And for 19 years, I was a volunteer for my church. I did that on a voluntary basis for 19 straight years. Now, I'll tell you this, you didn't have to tell me to be a youth worker in my church because I enjoyed it. It was my passion. And the last year that I was involved with my church, they actually paid me for the privilege of being a youth worker. It was part-time, but they paid me and I did it. And you didn't have to say, you have to go to work, you have to go to work. It was something I loved to do. And this is the difference between doing something that is not passionate and doing something that is passionate. There are so many interests that I have, and one of them is psychology. I love psychology. I love human behavior. I've written a book on the subject. I do lots of videos on the subject. I absolutely get so immersed in why people think the way they do things, why people do what they do, why people lie, why people tell the truth, you know, why people deceive. I love that sort of thing. I spend countless hours watching videos on body language and how to respond in certain situations, what makes a person, let's see, what makes a person get focused, what keeps a person from being distracted. I've got lots of videos on how to overcome those obstacles because I am absolutely passionate about it. And I also have products connected to that, but we're not discussing that. What I want to talk to you, what I want you guys to understand is if you want to start a business online, it is so important to do something that you are passionate about, that you can't wait to get up in the morning for. And this is something I love doing. You don't need to tell me to do it. You don't need to give me a set of instructions to say you need to do this. I absolutely love human psychology. It's something I love. It's just a passion of mine. Now, there are so many other things that I'm passionate about, but that is one of the main things. Youth work and psychology, they work very well together. And so I want you to understand that if you want to start a business online, if you don't have passion for what you're doing, you're going to run out of fuel. You're going to run out of gas. You're going to run out of petrol for all these South Africans listening, and you're going to run out of steam, run out of coal. I can't even think of anything else. But you're not going to last. And the only reason that I've been at this for 11 years, counting it all, is because I just keep doing what I'm passionate about. All right, now, I want to ask somebody on the panel to speak to this and their experiences about passions and the examples of how they just keep doing what they do. Maybe Katie, you can say a few words.
Yeah, what I was thinking about, you started talking about your life in the corporate world. And I was reminiscing on how I felt when I was working in the corporate world, and it was like it was empty, and I kept trying to fill myself into the mold that I didn't belong to. So there was no passion whatsoever there. I didn't care. I had this attitude where, okay, I have to give these people 2-week notice if I'm going to quit, but they can fire me at any time. Anytime. Didn't matter. And so it just, I don't know. It's just empty. It was empty for me. I'm not saying it's not bad to be an employee. I just don't want to be one anymore. And I'm working hard on what I found my passion to do in order to stay away from there. Okay, because I'm not going to go back. So there's definitely a difference when it's something that you're creating yourself. You're going to absolutely find that passion when you find it, because there's a lot of people that that we mentor in the workshop that haven't quite found their passion yet, and you can tell because they just, I don't know, that you could just tell. There's that moment where you could say, oh my gosh, I know what I need to do, and you'll just work endlessly like Dave, up at 48 hours a day. Don't do that, by the way. But you'll do everything. You'll stop wasting time. You'll stop sitting around feeling sorry for yourself or compare yourself to other people and their success. That just kind of goes away, because when you found your passion and you know what you have to do, you have a mission, and you're going to do everything that you possibly can in order to get that done. And it's amazing. It's a complete difference. So that's my take on it.
You know, it's interesting that one of the things that I used to do, and one of the things that I still love to this day, and I'm kind of toying with the idea of getting back into it, and that's trading. I love trading. It's a real passion of mine to trade with the markets, because I love the idea of being able to predict where our market goes. Because if you understand concepts like Fibonacci sequence, and if you don't know what that is, it's basically the pattern of life. It's in everything you see and do, and there's so much psychology to the way that a piece of paper, like an A4 piece of paper, the way it's made, believe it or not, that's connected to Fibonacci sequence. And Fibonacci sequence can be seen through trading in the market industry. You can see it all the time. And that's one of the things that I started to do. When I first got online, I started to debunk a whole lot of programs out there that were claiming to be this great trading platform. And that was one of the passions that I did, was to debunk these fake trading platforms. It was an amazing experience because I loved doing it. I simply got so much enjoyment out of it. And one of the things that I would say, and I encourage you so much, is this: look, if you have a full-time job, keep your full-time job. Keep your full-time job. Get enough money so you can feed yourself, put a roof over your head, and then the money left over that you want to invest in your business, find something you enjoy. Find something you like. If it's baking, if it's cooking, if it's doing yoga, if it's computers, if it's vaping, if it's working with cell phones, if it's programming, if it's website building, start telling people your knowledge online. Do things that you enjoy. And this is something I know Jamie can speak to. So Jamie, if you want to say something on this, I would be so grateful, because I know you've got so much in that realm to talk about.
Yeah, and I haven't really focused on that, but after the workshop on Saturday night, Dave kind of opened my mind that, I am passionate about computers and web design, computer repair, web design, networking, setting up WordPress, and cybersecurity, and all them kind of fall in a certain niche. And, I usually blog about mindset and stuff like that. So I'd been in the process of building a new website. I got my domain and my hosting and got all that set up and everything. And I hadn't really started building my new website. When Dave said that to me Saturday, I'm like, yeah, I need to focus on a new website, because, I picked the perfect name for it to add all this all that training into it, web design, computer repair, computer networking, and cybersecurity, because the name of the website is Shaw Consulting Services. So that fits perfectly, you know. And how I picked that domain, I don't know, but I was trying to get Shaw Marketing, but Shaw Marketing was taken, and they wanted $3,000 for the domain. I wasn't going to pay $3,000 for the domain. So, but you know, computers is one thing I'm really good at. You know, networking is something I'm really good at. You know, building WordPress websites and designing websites is something I'm really good at. So I'm going to take that over to my new domain, and actually I'm probably going to form my company around that name too. As soon as I set up my LLC, because I hadn't done that yet. I've been trying to figure out a permanent name for it before I started it, and so now I have the perfect name and the perfect domain to go with it, and I can start building my website around my passion, which is computers and things to do with computers. And if any of you have heard anything about the news, there's been a big cybersecurity attack on ransomware. Ransomware is infecting everybody's computer, and I did a training on that in the workshop, you know, like 2 or 3 months ago, about some of the best software that protect you against ransomware and stuff like that. So those of you that took action and went out and got the software, you're protected. If you didn't, then you might not be protected. So, but you know, I have a lot of other passions too, you know, and but I don't think I'm quite passionate about some of that stuff as I am computers. So I'm going to stick with computers and stuff like that for a while and see how that works out. And I'm going to build from there. And then, you know, I'm big into mindset and stuff like that. I'm really passionate about mindset because I saw my mindset change firsthand. So, you know, my other blog, I'll keep it, you know, on mindset and stuff like that. So, and it's not really a big deal to maintain a couple websites, but when you're passionate about what you do, what's that saying? If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. So that's kind of how I feel when I'm blogging and training how to set up a blog and, you know, doing all the technical stuff. I'm in my zone. That's what I want to say, in my zone. So.
You know, I wanted to mention this as well. You know, my buddy Bruno, one of the things that he's passionate about is making movie reviews. All right, or no, sorry, that's not correct. One of the things he's passionate about, and he loves to no extent, is movies. He used to own a video store back in the day, but unfortunately, because of the way technology is, right, not many people rent out movies, and so it's very hard for him to actually get people to actually rent out stuff, because everything's online, and you can, you know, we've got Netflix, and we've got this thing in South Africa called I think it's Showmax. It's called Showmax, where you can actually go ahead and watch online as well. It's kind of like Netflix's competition. And so he knows that the competition is dwindling down. So one of the things that I suggest he do is to start a blog. And I got him a blog, and I'm trying to remember the name of the blog. I think I got it. It's called, and you can look this up. It's called spazbook.com. Spazbook.com is his little blog. And what he does, he writes these reviews on the movies that he knows a lot about, because he is so knowledgeable. If you mention an actor or an actress, he'll know exactly who they are, how many movies they've been in. He is so knowledgeable, and it just blows me away with the amount of knowledge he knows. Because if you want a good movie to watch, Bruno is the person to get hold of. So I was saying to him, he's got to start a blog. And recently, Amazon let South Africans become an affiliate. So I was saying to him, what he should do is write these reviews and then give links to movies that you can buy on Amazon. And that way he can earn commissions off of it. And this is the whole idea about doing something that you're passionate about. And in Bruno's case, it's about movies. And so he can develop a business from that. I mean, if you go to spazbook.com, you can go and check it out, go and read up on some of the stuff he's done. He hasn't done it in a while because he's had a bit of, there's been stuff that's happening around. But he writes these tremendous reviews on movies, and it's definitely something to look at. But that is the type of thing we're talking about here, is doing things that you're passionate about. And if you can imagine doing something like, for instance, yoga, and perhaps you know a lot about yoga, and you all dancing, and you know how to dance, and you know the struggles and the diets that you have to go through. You can write about that. You can tell people information about that. You can make videos about that. What we're trying to do is to tell you to find a passion. All right? And we're going to be giving you these steps right through the next couple of weeks on how you can actually get a business online from scratch. And we're giving you the actual steps to take to get that done. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Pop, so maybe he can talk about the things that he's passionate about and what he can potentially turn into business ideas, and perhaps you guys are listening. But before we go to Pops, I want to give a shout out to Terry. I want to give a shout out to Shemeda and everybody else. Have I missed anybody? Pops, can you see? Have I missed anybody?
Terry's in there.
And Joe Whistler.
Joe
Whistler.
Yeah.
Joe there. And guys, if you're watching, just sign up, and so we can see you there, and we can give you a shout out. And we really want to be able to do that. So go ahead and do that. But Pops, maybe you want to say something.
Yeah, actually, I was passionate for a long time about traveling in the United States. I used to drive truck over the road, and I saw. Well, I've been in every state in the continental United States and in Canada, and my folks took us camping when I was younger. So I kind of have traveling and sightseeing and such in my blood, and I have had a goal to do that when I could finally get away. And now I have accomplished that part, although I have to fund that. And this is business that I'm in is a perfect way to fund it, because you can do this business anywhere. And I can promote that lifestyle, and I can also promote the products that I'm using to support my lifestyle that I need to use, and review the places I go to. And that's what Katie and I are doing. That's where our intent is. And we just started this, actually. We launched our flagship trip to Illinois to see Jamie and Bertie Shaw a week ago, and it's been absolutely fantastic. Just kind of kicking back, and that's a very marketable way of life. Not everybody can probably do it right away, but it's something to strive for. And the products that we have are second to none. Of course, they just they can't be beat. And I guess that's where I'm at as far as marketing in what I'm doing, and I can show what I'm doing, and there's definitely a market for it out there. A lot of people are ready to retire of my age group. They're coming up on retirement. They're looking for other things to do. They may have to dump the house because either they can't afford it because of their non-existent retirement, which has been disappearing over time here, and or they just want to downsize and do the same thing. And there's many people that are just, actually, it's kind of starting to boom right now. It's picking up a lot. Young and older, retired. No, I'm not saying old, I'm saying retired and older people are beginning to pick up on this, because it's it's cheap. It's a cheap way to go, especially dispersed camping or boondocking, as it's normally called. And that's getting out in the boonies, pack in all your water and your food, and get a solar. I have a solar, portable solar, and we can get out there for 2 weeks or more, depending until the water runs out. Anyway, it's a fantastic way of life, and again, that's what I'm going to promote primarily.
Yeah, so many things that you could do with that. I mean, you could. If people want that lifestyle, they can absolutely find out from you with the blog post. And I know that Katie she bought a domain. What was it called, Katie?
Fancy Free
Fancy
RV.
Free RV.
Yep, fancy-freerv.com.
Fancy Free RV. That's awesome. And if anybody is interested in wanting to travel, who lives in the United States and to want to know how to actually do it, this is something you can document and let people know what you're doing. And it's something you enjoy. It's something that you can do on a daily basis, because I know that Katie goes out and takes these amazing pictures, and she does all these amazing things, and she puts it out there for people to see. And this is something that people want to learn about. And this is what we're trying to say about getting your business going. If you've got to find something that you are really passionate about, something that you want to do, because these are the stepping stones to get you going in the right direction. Believe me, I've done it the hard way. I've done it the hard way. When you're trying to get something going and you're doing something you're not really passionate about, or you don't really know why you're doing it. But if you know what you're doing and you know why you're doing it, it doesn't take that much effort. When you love something, it absolutely goes so much further. One of the things that I spoke about this last week a bit, one of the things that I'm also passionate about is something that Jamie does, and that's computers and networking. And I was with this company for quite some time. I wasn't getting paid the best, but I worked there as a network administrator. And the company was going in some really tough times. And we stuck with it. I stuck with it because I was really passionate about what I wanted to do. And I was passionate about everybody around me, and it's just something I look forward to doing every single day. So much so, I lived on the property. I actually lived on the property there, so I could be there first thing in the morning, and it kept me going for a long, long time. So, I know that this is something that a lot of people. Oh, Barb's here. Barb, awesome. Bob, is that Barb or Tim and Bob? Are they here? Ooh, what happened to the chat?
Sorry, my fault.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Tim and Bob, awesome. Yeah, Tim, while we're talking about passions, getting your business going, last week we spoke about your why you want to do it, and now we're talking about passions, all right? Finding something you're passionate about, and then getting that to be the driving force for your business online. Because every single person can find something that they are passionate about. I don't care who you are. Try and think of, in fact, some of the chat right now. Can you write to us the things that you're passionate about? Give us some ideas, and maybe we can give you some back. Does anybody else want to say something on the panel before we get those answers? Because I know there's a slight delay.
Now let's go ahead and move on. Thanks.
Yeah, there's so many things.
What?
So many things that people can do. I know Tim and Barb, for instance, are marketing and are passionate about repurposing barn wood and old wood and making furniture out of it. And they are very passionate about that. And they're just taking it to the moon. They're looking for new property to be able to do this at, because they can't really focus enough at home in order to do it, I understand. Probably limited space and such. And they're just doing it. There's so much passion in their eyes when they talk about it. You can just see it. And they're just so passionate, and you can't think about hardly anything else than doing this, promoting this stuff. And they're making a success out of it. They have a great client now that they spoke about the last time we had coffee with them before we left town. It's fantastic. And this client found them. Amazing.
I was approached by somebody who wanted me to buy their clothes online. They contact me, they see I'm in the marketing industry, and for some reason I must now buy their clothes. And they said, no, I'm reaching out to you because you're in the marketing industry and I'm selling all of this stuff, so do you want to buy it and then ship it for me? That's the type of, people that contact me. That's how they think marketing works. They're going to find somebody in marketing. I know how to do it, so I'll give you clothes and you can market it for me. And it's completely twisted. And I'm saying to myself, if you are somebody, like, let's take that as an example, like the same advice I give that person, right? So you make clothes and you sell these clothes to other people. So how can you turn that into how can you turn that into a business? And this is what we're saying, through videos and through a blog and through Pinterest and through Periscope, you can show people how to make the clothes that you do, and you can make an ebook on designs that you can give to people. And then after that, you can give people access to ways that they can purchase the material, and you can become an affiliate for that or sell material and get money for that. But the whole idea is that if you like making clothes, or if you like building things with wood, you can show people how to make furniture. You can show people how to plane wood, how to hammer in nails, how to, because there is a certain way to hammer in nails, and not hit the wrong one when you're trying to hit the nail in. And you can give people tips and tricks on how to do that. There are certain ways that you can do when you're drilling. When you're screwing in a screw in a piece of wood, and now you've got to tape the head. You can show people how to do that. There are so many things in that industry that you can give people tips and tricks for how to actually do that properly. And I know I do this all the time when I'm looking online and I'm trying to find out how to mix my vape juices with stuff like vegetable glycerine that I have right here, and propylene glycol over here, and you're going to mix it together, and you're going to take your flavors. And I'm looking online for helpful tutorials on how to do this properly. But that is a business in and of itself, and I'm seriously considering getting into the making vape juices and showing people how to do it online, because I'm becoming a lot more knowledgeable about it, and people will want to look at me for answers. So that's an absolutely good thing to do. Let's see who's here. Deidre's on. Awesome. Thanks for contacting me, Deidre. I really appreciate you doing that and filling me in. So nice of you to do that. And say hello to Laura when you can as well. Jamie, you want to add something?
What was the question? I was in the chat.
No, not a problem, brother. We were just talking about ideas for businesses, and
oh man, there's tons of ideas for businesses out there. I mean, there's stuff for weight loss out there that you can start a business on. A girl here in town, she does unique makeup, and she's just got into it, and she's kind of blowed up here recently, so, being in makeup, you can start a business on, doing women's makeup. I don't think you or me, Dave, would look good in makeup. I don't think Pops would look good in makeup either, but, we could start a business on it. But, woodworking like Barb and Tim did, gardening, organic gardening is a hot topic, in the marketplace, and you can start a blog on organic marketing and tips on how to do organic marketing and stuff like that. There's so much out there that you can create a business around. You just got to find what you're passionate about and build a business around it. And, you build your website around that business, you build your business around that website, and people, as long as you're marketing that business out there, putting out good blog content, putting out good videos and stuff like that, people will come to your site and listen to what you have to say, because some of them may have the same passions that you have, like organic gardening, for instance, our buddy Chris Pires, he does real estate, buying houses with no money down. And I've actually been attracted over to his site and been going through some of the videos and stuff, because there's some houses here in town that I could buy for a really good price, and I could either flip them or my kids say, I want them, and I just put the kids in them. Like there's one here in town we've been checking out really hard. It's $20,000. Where can you buy a house for $20,000? You know, and you could probably put some money into it, turn around, flip it for $60,000-$70,000, make a little bit of a profit, or you can rent it to the kids or make them pay you back for it if that works. I don't know if kids really pay you back or not, but
Nope.
I will say this about some of the mistakes that I made when I first got started in doing something that you're not passionate about. And when I first got started, one of the mistakes I made was I tried to become an expert in things that I wasn't an expert in. I wish I had started out in this industry with things that I was far more passionate about than, for instance, marketing on Twitter, or making a blog work well when I had no experience doing it, or how to market on YouTube when I had no experience doing it. The one thing I will say though is that once I got really good at marketing, I was able to turn that into a passion and teach people how to do it properly. And so what a big mistake I made when I got into this industry is, and we all the company that most of us came in from is that we got into a company and we just became experts on getting people into a company, and then we become experts in getting people into a company with no real product other than the fact that we were just trying to get people into a company. We weren't really focusing on things that we were really passionate about. And this is where I think people lose. They lose the mark. They don't concentrate on things that they are passionate about and then turn that into a viable business. And then later on, when you get more experience, then you can start talking about how to blog correctly, how to make videos, how to do Twitter, how to do Instagram, because as you learn how to market, you become more knowledgeable and you actually develop an interest and a liking towards how to do that. Does that make sense to everybody watching, or can you relate a bit to what I'm saying there? Pops, do you want to say something?
Yep, yeah, I was in the chat too.
Not a problem.
Yeah, it's we always talk about it's not easy to do this business. It's fairly simple to do, but it's not easy. But once you're passionate, you don't even think about that stuff. You just keep on rolling. You get focused on what the results you want, because you're passionate. When your passion fits the way you want to get things done, and you're just going to find a way to do it. Especially if you're not too pleased with where you're at now. And that happened to me. I was working at the post office and I didn't like it. They actually offered an early out, and I was able to take advantage of that and maintain the retirement benefits, which fortunately for me. However, I got in this game later in life. People that are younger than I could get started sooner without quitting your job needlessly, of course. You don't want to be jumping on that bandwagon, because that's a dangerous road to go. But you can still do it part-time, because I was doing it part-time when I was taking care of my dad who was dying, basically, along with a part-time job that I had. So it's just, you can find the time. I kicked out television years ago, so I didn't have that withdrawal. I didn't have that problem, but I did have, music that I listened to. I like music. I like the blues, and I like classical and all that stuff. So I'd listen to that all the time, but I cut that out to listen to mindset stuff, to get my head straight, to keep me focused, because the television and the music too, some of it is not the best for your mindset, because the negativity starts going in and reminds you of past stuff and all that. I'm sure you guys all know what I'm talking about. So the more positive stuff you can expose yourself to, the better off you are, and totally in life. Just not only just business, but in everything, and your outlook on life and your outlook on yourself. It's so key on being able to succeed. It's just phenomenal. All the leaders have done mindset, and they get coaches and stuff to keep their head straight. And once I can afford to do that, I will be doing that, because that's how I want to maintain my business and my life. I want to go out smiling. I don't want to slide into second base laughing. I just want to go out smiling.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, even that, just learning from different people is an experience in and of themselves. People who, I mean, even that, listening to a whole range of people, you can come back and tell people what you learn. And you know, if you're passionate about, like Pops is learning about mindset, you can definitely give people information about that, and you know, make that part of your passion. We're trying to tell you that a business will only go so far if you're not passionate about it. You know, one of the things, and I see that we have Joe McKenzie listening in. Joe's a very good friend of mine, and Joe sells these candies, and he's got this other product that helps with health. And you know, he's passionate about that, and he's always talking about it. It's on his conversation, on his mind all the time. You don't need to remind Joe about what he's passionate about. He knows what he's passionate about, and because of that, he drives forward, and he tells people all the time about what the experiences that he's had. And if you're in the health and wellness industry, and that's what you do, you've got to turn your dialogue into words that you can write on a piece of paper, or turn your dialogue that you have with other people onto video. So if somebody asks you a question, you can say, you know, that's a great question. Go to my website and I'll tell you all about it. Why? Because you're passionate about it. That's what gets people listening to what you have to say. Absolutely. Katie, do you want to say anything? Or you're in the chat as well?
I'm sorry, I was in the comments. What were you saying? I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. No, you totally stole my joke. But actually, I was just thinking that I've been in the business for 4 years, and I feel like I've been in the middle of an epidemic of entrepreneurs. So let that sink in for a second. An epidemic of entrepreneurs. I could take sorry, I'm probably screaming right now. So what that means is that there's a lot of people who can take an idea and run with it. You may fail, you may not. At least you tried. But if it's something that you want to go for, instead of trying to build somebody else's dream at a 9-to-5, where they're going to control how, you know, when you're going to go to the bathroom, when you're going to eat, they're going to control when you have to come in, when you have to leave. Maybe they want to ask you to stay overtime, and you just don't want to because that's not your passion, right? You don't want to. You're like, no, I'm just here to clock in, clock out, get paid. I don't want to do extra. Even if you get time and a half, then you're like, well, maybe I can, you know, add an extra time and a half so I can get, you know, that extra payment paid off for the truck or something. I have no idea. Or go on that little vacation that you have been planning for the last 3 years, but you couldn't. So that's just the thing. It's just you can take one idea, and it doesn't have to be very big, and you can get with us here, for instance, like Dave said earlier, that we started in a business where it actually taught us how to start a business, and the person who taught us learned from another company who taught him how to start a business. So it's kind of like a chain of mentors that kept just giving us the information from years of experience. So it's like you can click on the yellow shiny candy-like button down below this video that says get started now, because on that other side of that button is a $10 10-day trial. Just to be, we're inviting you to be a tire kicker to see what we can provide for you, and we'll throw in a workshop for you on this Saturday. Act now, or we'll take that away from you. Just kidding, we won't. But no, the point is that we'll show you. You can even have a one-on-one with whoever you're gonna want to have a one-on-one with, and we can just tell you. You could share your ideas with us. We won't steal them from you, but because we got our own things going on. So the point is that it just takes one idea. something that you just wanted to do to something that's pulling you. Like Dave, you want to start a children's youth center, right? A youth work center or whatever, right? It's not whatever, it's very important. So that's your goal, right? So, and Jamie, he's still working on it. Something to do with computers, because he's like a ninja at computers. He's the IT guy, and he can figure stuff out. He can take a computer apart, I'm sure, with his eyes closed and put it back together. And then, and then Pops, he's really good at human relations. He's good at figuring people out, right? So it's like you have a wide variety of people in just this small group that can actually help you out and point you in the right direction. That's just it. If you're already in the workshop, ask us. We'll help you. Simple as that.
You know, as Katie, as you were talking, I was just thinking about some homework we can give people to help them on the way to actually getting this down. And so if we could give you some homework or some things to think about before we get on to next week with our next Hangout, I want to ask you to go and write down everything that you're passionate about. And if you don't know what that is, if you don't know what your passion is, go to your friends and ask them, what is it about me that you find that I do really well? And one of the things that I was absolutely, it still amazes me to this day. I have a friend who was super organized, but so organized that it blew me away. I remember meeting him for the first time, and we were sitting down. I was at his place. This was years ago, and I said to him, years ago, I used to have a little train. I had gotten it as a gift when I was 6 years old or something, 6 or 7. And I remember playing with this train, and there was a whole generation of us that got this train. Do you know that he was so organized? He said, just hold on. He got up, he went to a cupboard in a certain location, and he said, was this it? And he showed me this thing, and I was like, yeah, that's exactly what it was. His whole life was so organized, and he did it so effortlessly. I couldn't believe it. And I thought that would be a cool skill to learn, how to be super organized. But he doesn't even think about it. He doesn't think it's important. And, because he does it so easily. But it obviously is important to him because he doesn't like chaos. And some people want to know how to be organized. It's something you can teach people or show people about. It's just an idea. But do yourself a favor, even if you know what it is right now. And I know that Millie was talking about the fact that she knits, but she's not passionate about it. And here's a little fun fact about me. I know how to knit as well. I also know how to crochet. Why? Because I'm a man and we can knit. Anyway, you can't really say that. But find something you're passionate about. Write down all of the things that you love doing on a piece of paper. Get that down. And then look at something there that you could be willing to spend time on talking about, doing research on, finding out fascinating things about it. I love history. I love computers. I love vaping. I love the science into how to make the flavors. I love cell phones. I love playing guitar. I love building. I love sound and how microphones work, how sound waves work. I love the difference between digital and analog. There are so many things that I am passionate about. Go and find out something that you're passionate about. And then what we're going to do is next week, we're going to take it to the next level. And we are going to show you what you can do with that passion to turn it into a business. All right, that's what we want to do. So last week, we spoke about the why. This week, we are talking about passions and how to find out what you're passionate about. And next week, we're going to show you how you can actually start to make some money from that. All right, so I don't know if anybody else wants to say anything. I do want to say, though, that if you're watching this right now and you're not on the workshop where we have every single Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which runs for about 3 to 5 hours every single Saturday, and we talk and discuss and encourage, and we help you to become a better marketer in your business. All right, that's what we do every single week. And actually this week we got a surprise coming up for one of our members. We're going to be springing something on them, and they have no idea what it is, but hopefully they'll be going to do very well. And we have very good confidence in this person because we have picked them out already. All right, so we've already aimed, we are ready to fire and pull the trigger. So with that being said, I'm going to go over to Pops for a parting shot before we say goodbye, because it's 5 minutes to the hour. Go, Pops, you've got the stage.
Thank you, Dave. And thanks everybody for showing up, and those of you who are watching the replay, thanks for doing that. And we hope you got something out of this, and we encourage you to take advantage of the $10 10-day trial and do the tire kicking if that's what you need to do. And you have full access to the program and to us. So when you have questions, you contact us and we will walk you through it and give you a tour. It's that important to us to have it that important to you, because it's going to change your life. Have a great night. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Pops. And Jamie, you want to say something? Sorry, I know you're on the chat. If you're on the chat, we can go somewhere else.
No, I wasn't actually in the chat this time. I was actually paying attention. But yeah, like Pop said, you get access to us. You get stuck on your blog, you got access to me or Dave to help you figure out your blog. I've helped a lot of people in our community with their blog. I've taught some really good things in the workshop, and that's where I found myself, in that workshop, so I always say one of my favorite sayings is, Dave and Katie didn't make me like this. They just chipped away the rough edges. And that's so true. When you find what you're passionate about, this workshop will help you find what you're passionate about. And they just chip away the rough edges and point you in the right direction. They see you steering off in the wrong direction, they course correct you back in the right direction and tell you what you need to do to, get in the success pattern. And that's what's good about the workshop. It's not only information from like Dave and Katie. I mean, there's new people that come in. Maria, Saturday night, that girl was putting out some good content, and I don't know where it was coming from, because Shiloh Maria wasn't like that 6 months ago, and she was just kicking butt and taking names, so. But, this workshop isn't here for us. It's here for you. So if you're struggling with your mindset, you're struggling with your blog, you're struggling with your capture pages, you're struggling with your funnels, come in here and get your problems answered and your problems solved, because that's what we're there to do. So.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jamie. And Miss Katie, stage.
Yes. No, I'm just kidding. I paid attention too. Okay. Well, you said last week that we talked about the why, and I kind of touched on that a little bit. That was my why, definitely, if you guys caught that, to stay away from the 9 to 5. So that's the why. So what you have to do, you have something that you need, that you want to do. You have your why, and then you have an idea. This week is telling you, try to figure out how you can turn an idea into a business. There's a lot of people who actually can't figure that out by themselves. So that's why we can help you if you trust us to help you. Just reach out to us and ask. Otherwise, you can find family members or friends who say that you're really good. Maybe you're a good listener or a good speaker or a good teacher. You're always telling people, teaching them something. You could fit right into a business into that. I think I said it last week, or actually on the workshop on Saturday, that there was a 6 to 7 figure earner that actually didn't start out that way. He came up with an idea, and he said, I'm a really good listener, and I know how to talk to people. And he turned that into a business, an online business. I mean, it's something simple like that. If you just don't think too hard on it, you can definitely reach out to any of us or somebody that you trust to say, hey, what am I good at? What do you know about me that I'm so good at? And then you can try to figure out how to turn that into a business. And we love to know what that is, share that with us, because next week we are going to share with you how to monetize that and give you some more ideas for free. This is a free hangout, so come on and just hang out with us and learn that. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Katie. And we do want to say that you're more than welcome to join us every single week at this time. Every single week we're on this time, unless there's some special event happening. But please understand that this is important. And the workshop that we have on Saturday, there are codifications you absolutely need to be in the system that we use. So click on that button and get started. And then there are codifications that there is a video you got to make, and you got to put it in the group. But contact us and let us know how we can assist you getting into that group. And everybody had to make a video, including myself and Katie, Pops, and Jamie. We all made a video to get inside of that workshop. And part of the reason we do that is because we need to know that you're serious. We don't want to work with people who just kind of want to make it. We want to work with people who really do want to make it. And that's the difference between failing and succeeding, is if you are willing to follow through. And that's why we have this qualifier to get you involved in the workshop. All right. And so with that being said, we're going to say goodbye because it's on the hour. We're 1 minute past. We're really good on this hour business, right? We really start on time or end on time. And we do that because we know your time is valuable. And so please, same time next week, Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be talking about the next level and how you can actually turn this into a viable business. And you'll see as we go how this all will fit together, where you can actually start generating an income online. All right, so with that being said, you have a tremendous evening or day or morning, however it goes, because it's morning right here, and we will see you next week. Cheers. And don't forget, Wisdom Wednesday on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jamie has a hangout as well on Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, blah, 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 rhubarb, all of that good stuff. Okay, so we will see you. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.